Welcome back to another episode of Heist Seller Stories. And in today's episode, we have a real treat. We've got on Dima Kubrak, who in addition to being my partner in Amazon software company SELLERISE, has an absolutely insane origin story to success as a Ukrainian immigrant dishwasher to an Amazon seller who now sells over $15 million a year. He's an OG Amazon seller from the early days and has survived every era of Amazon up to this point. Everything he touches turns to gold, and man, does he have a fascinating story to share. Let's do this. I just became a partner in my favorite Amazon software, SELLERISE. Be sure to check it out. I use it for all of my review automations and review dashboard, my daily, weekly, and monthly profitability analysis. You can swap between different accounts if you've got multiple accounts in international marketplaces. It cuts a financial P&L view, which is awesome. You can get reimbursements automated. Oftentimes Amazon owes you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Automated process to submit tickets for that and make money and recover costs. Smart alerts. If anything bad happens to your listing, it notifies you. If you've got larger products, you can do shipping optimization. It's got tons of URLs. Guys, it rocks. Check it out, sellerise.com/heist for 1 month free. We'll also do regular drawings for anyone that's signed up under the Heist discount code to get a free year free. On to the interview. All right, guys, well, welcome back to another episode of Heist Seller Stories. And this one I'm super pumped about, and it's a little bit personal to me because I've got on the show Dima Kubrak, who in addition to being a partner in his software company SELLERISE, he is an OG Amazon seller who has seen multiple eras from the early days up into the professionalization of Amazon, which we're seeing now, and has a really fascinating story that I'm actually excited to learn about in terms of coming from the Ukraine and an immigrant story to the US and living the American dream. So we're gonna learn a lot about Amazon, we're gonna learn a lot about a really compelling story, and we're gonna learn a lot about probably one of the nicest guys in the Amazon space that I've ever met. So Dima, super pumped to have you on, man. Welcome to Heist Seller Stories.
Adam, what's up? What's up, everybody, guys? I'm so glad to see you here, and I'm so glad you invite me to your episode. It's awesome to get together and record this beautiful video.
Awesome, brother. Well, dude, like I said, I know a decent amount about you, but I'm sure I don't know the full story, so we'll kind of peel the onion back. Let's go back to the start, man, where you originated from. Like for those that maybe had their ears kind of sounding not an American accent, right? So you were born and raised in the Ukraine. Let's kind of start there because not everybody kind of comes from a foreign country to the US and kind of has the kind of success that you've had. So I'd really like to kind of start there and tell me about your background growing up in the Ukraine.
Listen, if I would just say about myself something that will kind of represent in one or two words, I would say about me, I'm a pure person of positivity, So if you ever talk to me, you will find out that there's nothing that can make me sad or upset, like only one person, maybe my wife, It's all about like how we cook the turkey, so everything else is awesome. Yeah, so my early days in Ukraine was beautiful. Ukraine, okay, like I just watched this movie War Dog. I don't know if you watched about this guy who was selling guns, and they was flying to Albania, and the guy told them it's a beautiful country, and he said like the only one word that doesn't connect to this country it's the word beautiful. So everything else beside of that. But Ukraine itself, it's a great country, nice food. Yeah, I was a student there. I was selling. Also, I was participating in multi-level marketing when you sell vitamins. Okay. It was a cool time, And one of my friends, he visited United States before, and he told me, "Hey, Dima, you should try to go to United States because that's the opportunity for people like you who love the entrepreneurial lifestyle." And that's exactly what I did. We moved here with my wife together. And we start to work at the different jobs. And my early jobs was a dishwasher, which was one of my favorite jobs out of the all times.
Really?
It's so cool. It's so easy, like you just load the plates, You know, like you unload them, the music all the time. You have unlimited wine and coffee. This is the simplest job ever in my life, and you make a ton of money.
Yeah. So like, I mean,
In
I'm
quarters.
sure a lot of people from the Ukraine and from throughout the world want to come to the U.S., but it's not as easy as that. Like even me, I'm a Canadian originally, and I came through marriage. I married an American, but it's not easy even for people from Canada to come to the U.S. So
No, I
like,
agree with you.
walk
The
me through that
immigration
process. How does that happen?
Yeah, the immigration process is not that easy, you know. Without going too much into details, everybody who tried to move to United States, they're trying to find the ways and the reasons why they want to come here. You know, like I'm telling you, I have so many friends who come here. They live for like 2-3 years and they left because they couldn't connect here. Majority of the people they come here, they think, yeah, the United States is full of opportunities, but you have to understand how to take it. You know, like how to make the proper focus and make money. You know, like I was just talking to one of my friends. A majority of the people in our countries, they make $500-$600 a month in a salary, which is like, and you know, like when you make hundreds of $1,000s in profits, that's a completely different story. You know, like, and you
Yeah.
feel like absolutely awesome after like 10 years in the United States, and it feels like everybody get this opportunity, but you have to work kind of hard, you know.
So walk me through that experience. So you kind of figure out that you want to move to the U.S. and you coordinate all the logistics and all that, and you land. Where do you land in the U.S. and like what is that like? You get off the airplane. What's next?
Yeah, I mean, we came like it was so difficult to get here. You know, like we came by student program,
Okay.
which is like it's like a student exchange. We decided to come here for like 6 months, and I was thinking to buy a minivan because where I live originally, there's a lot of tourists. You know, so we was thinking with my wife to buy a minivan and make like a tourist transportation business. But when we get here, like things get different, and we learn a lot. At the beginning, we didn't want to stay because it was kind of tough to adjust, but we decided to continue going. And eventually, we get to the point that we realize, okay, the United States is like full of opportunities. At first, we start to work in a Jewish kiosks in the malls where you
Okay.
need to sell like a Dead Sea, salt, you know, like all this. I'm not sure. I think it exists in your malls as well. When you walk in the mall and they stop you and they like wash your hands with the
Oh
salt.
yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
sell them 1 and 2 and I learned from these guys a lot because my English was completely zero. I couldn't
Okay.
speak much, and you don't have a salary there. So the only way to get money, you have to sell something. So they started to. I say like, okay, write me a script what I need to say to these guys. And they wrote me like a page of the script, you know, like word by word, sentence by sentence. So every time I stop someone, I start to explain this. I start to say this speech until I sell. And if someone asks me a question, I don't know like what to answer. So I start my speech from the beginning because I don't know what part he didn't understand. And this until I sell. And on I think we start to work like beginning of July, and on August I become #1 seller across all the locations. And they give
Amazing.
me like a gifts and everything because look, in 2 months, you know, like your shoes, you can flat your shoes I don't know how to say this on English, you know, on the shoes, it's the bottom of the shoes, and you can flat them if you walk a
Okay.
lot.
Yep.
So in 2 months, I changed my shoes 3 times because I flat them. I was walking so much across around the kiosk trying to catch buyers. I didn't stop, you know. I was like purely focused on sales, and it went awesome, you know. So
Yeah. That's really
yeah,
cool.
it was a great job. I learned a lot of things to upsell, downsell, and the reason why there was a girl. She came. She was a very professional seller. And everybody, all the Jewish guys, they was kind of very cool and they know everything and nobody wants to learn from her. But she was a professional and I didn't know anything. I said like, teach me, I want to learn. And she every day she was teaching me how to sell, how to communicate with the customers, how to do this upsells, how to sell like $3,000 to the one woman with the cosmetics, and all these techniques she teach me, and that's why I become #1 seller there. And that's what I learned a lot. There's always someone who knows more information than you do, and that's what will help you to grow, you know. Like, so that's why from when I start my e-commerce business, I start to go to events like once a month, twice a month. I've been in Las Vegas in the first 3 years about 20 times because I was going to the events, all of them, like I was learning from everybody. And I also find out you don't have to learn only from the like top guys. Sometimes you go into this into the room and there's a lot of newbies, and these people, they have amazing advantage. They don't have money, but they have so much power and so much focus and so much time. They find this kind of competitive advantages corners, whereas nobody like look at this, like, and these guys, they're usually brilliant. They tell you some idea and you're like, wow, man, for how long you sell on Amazon? And he's like, I didn't even start it. They're like, how do you know all these techniques? He's like, I just dig and I test and these guys, they're really usually amazing. That's why I like to do Amazon meetups where like everybody comes, not only like top guys, because top guys, they usually have like teams and operational managers and VP of operations, CFO. They kind of on the top, like sometimes they don't know like how things works inside the company anymore. But these guys who operate on a daily basis, they adjust their PPC every day themselves. They run logistics themselves. They run all these coupons and social media themselves. They know sometimes such little things that will change your business for a lot. So,
no, man, like a couple key takeaways for me there, and I think it's so true, which is every stop in your life, whether it's a career, a job, or every person that you meet in life, there's nuggets of value that you can take at each one of those steps and each one of those people and kind of combine it and Frankenstein it into your own growth. I mean, I've done all kinds of crazy jobs, from like peeling apart pallets when I was a teenager to I sold pest control door to door. So I kind of know that whole world. But like good, bad, and different, all those little experiences combine to kind of make you the person that you are if you take advantage of them and you keep your perspective open. So in terms of the online transition, so you kind of came to the US on a student visa. You were kind of working odd jobs from dishwashing to kind of selling creams at a mall. Walk me through the transition to e-com, because I think like the story of how you learned e-com into eBay, which ultimately kind of went into Amazon, is pretty compelling. So walk me through how you discovered e-commerce and how that transition happened.
So the story about this kiosk and we were selling was in San Diego, and we at the beginning was thinking, hey, let's grow this business. Maybe we can open our own kiosk. But we saw the era of kiosk going down, and we decided to leave this opportunity and move to Key West. Key West is like a United States village. You walk out of the airport that has like a one room of the airport. Like it's not a huge airport. No, like I think even transportation for the bags, like it's just manual. So and you walk out and you see these roosters running on the street. So we decided to find a basic jobs. I started to work as a dishwasher, and then I got into the pedi-cab. Yeah, pedi-cab, it's the bicycles for tourists, where you like take these guys and ride them around. Me and my wife, we did that, and it was actually awesome. I got such a beautiful legs, in like 2 months, because I didn't have, like I always say to my wife, look at my ass, like it's so beautiful, and like it was just amazing, and I realized, okay, everybody who was working there as a pedicabs, they usually lazy guys, they stay and they wait until like someone come and ask them for a ride. And I was crazy, like I was just completely focused. I was like spinning around the entire, there's a Duval Street. So I was going back and forth, taking guys. And on average, usually like pedicab driver makes about 120, 150, like about $200. It's a good day to make. I was making about $700 to $800 every single day. I was just like pushing like crazy, and that was a day shifts. Like night shifts, they're usually better, but I couldn't take them, because it was like too packed in a competition there. Like all Serbian guys was taking that, and one day. Yeah. It's all these guys who come from different countries. They just like working so hard, but sometimes they get stuck there, and that's what makes me. At the beginning I was thinking to open a donuts shop in Key West, but I'm glad it didn't work out for me. So, and then one day I met this guy. He was from Vietnam. He was such a positive guy. Was spending money like crazy, smoking weed all day, like with me on the pedicab, and like, wow, that's such a cool guy, And I asked him, hey, what do you do? He said, like, I sell products online. And like, listen, I'm a smart guy. Just show me the path, and I will figure out the rest of it. So he said like, I sell products on eBay. I sell like a bolts and other automotive stuff for the cars. And if you want to learn it, just I want to invite you to my house in Tampa. Just spend a few days. I will show how everything works. And me and my friend Vladimir, we rent the car like it was a small Kia Soul. I hate Kia Soul for the rest of my life. we, we drove. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'2", which is for Kia Soul. It's a bit too much, So I drove for like 10 hours with the stops and everything. And when we got there for 3 days, he was showing us how the eBay works, and that's how we started. We actually didn't start to sell our products. We didn't have a budget, and we was so scared of launching products. There was no programs back in the days. There was no like now you go on YouTube and like millions of videos, good ones, bad ones. Anyway, but you can start to get information. Everything else back in the days wasn't like that, and we start to do drop shipping on eBay. We start to sell products from Amazon to eBay. We was finding products on Amazon. We list them on eBay for sale, and the moment someone buys on eBay, we buy this on Amazon, put the shipping of the customer, and ship it. So, and we find out there was a problem, a gap in the system where you competing between like all this like a lot of sellers, and I start to find ways to get this competitive advantage. So I start to find products that very difficult to estimate the price. Like for example, if you see the bottle of water. Okay, this is like a $2 bottle, like maybe $1 bottle, correct? So it cannot be 10 or 12. But when you're thinking about garden fountain, how much can cost garden fountain? It can cost $100, it can cost $600. There's no price estimation. It's only about your budget and like if you like the piece. So that the reason why I said garden fountain, it was one of our most selling products. We was buying this product on Kmart for $70 or $80, and we was reselling this on eBay for $200. And it was doing well. No, or let's say kids ATM machine, like how much it may cost, like kids house, like a plastic house. There was like so many things that we was reselling there. And first year we hired 40 people to work for us. Mostly it was Ukrainian guys from our village. So we was paying like $150 to $200 a month. It was easy to do, like, so you don't need the English. You just type. Yeah. And that's how we started.
So dude, it's amazing to me how life works sometimes. And I don't know, you can't really predict it, but I do honestly feel that if you put good out there in the world, somehow life conspires against you to figure it out.
Yep.
So you're literally just this friendly Ukrainian guy with quads of steel running up and down the main street in Florida, and you pick up this random dude who happens to be an eBay seller. It's kind of insane to me that he said come out for a couple of days. Like what a cool guy to do that. You learn kind of the basis of selling online, and you take those skills, you start selling on eBay, build a team. I just love that story. It just it seems so random, but at the same time, things tend to happen for a reason and line up for a reason. So
you know what? I like this saying. I like the saying. The harder I work, the luckier I become.
I love it.
I think this is like the best representation of any person and any success. Like anybody who waits for a big shot probably will always miss it. Like, almost impossible, no? But the moment you continue grinding, you will find this great partner. You will find like Adam, how we met, like
yes.
You was just insane on the internet. I love your feedback. I love how smart you are. And then we connected, and I see you're a cool guy. Let's make something happen together, and that's how we become partners. So that's how the actual life cycle works. Like people who active, proactive, positive, who just want to run extra miles without expecting payoff, any payoff. Like. They always will get something,
I think that's the huge thing, which is kind of funny, which is it speaks to intention for me, right? Which is if you just have a good value system, you have integrity, you're a good person, you have fun with life. Doesn't mean that bad things don't happen and negativity doesn't come in your life. That does happen, but like you put those things out in the world with, here's the key, with not any expectations. That's when the flood of opportunities come. It's so weird, but like if you have the intention of going out and making all this profit and you're single-minded on money and all that stuff, the likelihood of it happening is less than if you just are or have a good value system and put good out in the world. It comes back to you easier. So I don't know how it works. It's like a weird thing with the universe, but I totally agree. And it's crazy how your story came together. So you go from drop shipping on eBay. How do you become an Amazon seller? And for those that don't know, I mean, Dima's figured out a lot of stuff. And 8-figure seller, I mean, running into 8-figure sellers and the people that have the skills and the ability to scale to that level is pretty rare. 6-figure sellers pretty common on Amazon. 7-figure sellers still pretty common. When you get into 8 figures and snowballing into that level of professionalism on Amazon, it's pretty rare. So talk me through how you started going and drop shipping on eBay to how you are as a seller today, and maybe the different eras that you've seen on Amazon up to now.
Yeah, it was actually a very, very tough journey, I would say. I'm like, when you look at the back, it's just fun stories, like, but at the time, then things was happening, like, you're always asking yourself, hey, would I ever sustain? And like, if I would just one day, guys, meet you on a real event, and I can tell you like a cool story, like of like up and downs. Like, I think throughout this 8 years, I lost my business almost 5 times. I almost lost my business 5 times. It was very, very tough, So with this drop shipping, the guys came with the automated systems. I was having a big staff. People was doing everything manually, and then person comes and overnight he copy your business, put prices 10 cents cheaper, and then he win an algorithm, like so. And then it's becoming like it's becoming tough thing, like so. Then we start selling different products on eBay, and there was another hit, like when Apple changed the system, and we lost all our inventory, like overnight, and we get 4,000 complaints in 1 week because our products was not working because Amazon iOS or iPhone iOS was kind of down, and it was a kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, I remember when we started our first Amazon business, we started with the travel chargers, and it didn't go well for us. And then one day, like, I was sitting in my home, like, it was like first month, so maybe a month and a half of selling, like, hey, we don't know what to do, like the profits is not coming. And then I decided, hey, let's make a long cables for the charging. When you sit on the couch, you still want to be charged, you need a long one. Like, nowadays it seems like very logical, but back in the days, like 8 years ago, people didn't sell much of the long cables. And I made the 2-pack of long cables, and within like 3 weeks we start to sell like $15,000-$17,000 a day, which is like it jumps us to like $500,000, maybe more than $500,000 per month in sales.
Is this on eBay or Amazon?
It's Amazon. That's all. I'm talking just about already Amazon era.
What year is this? 2014 or earlier?
13. It was 13.
Oh wow! So you're like early. Like, this is before people even knew what selling on Amazon was.
Yeah. It actually was already like ISM second. I think already people was kind of already getting known about things, how they works. Even look, imagine at that days I was meeting people who was telling me Amazon already dead. They was telling me Amazon already dead. Like, there's no way to make money on Amazon. Just leave it this marketplace, do something else. Or like, whatever. I'm telling you, I was shocked. Like, I'm making so much money. Like, how come? So maybe I'm doing something wrong. So tell me how to do this properly to lose the money. So
you were selling 15 grand a day in those long cables back in 2014.
Yeah. Within first 6 months, we went from zero to about $60,000 profit. I'm like, look, I will tell to the people a hard truth about any physical business products. The bigger your business become, the more inventory you need. And true. Sometimes the amount of money that coming in not enough to buy enough inventory.
So true.
And that's why people like wondering, hey, you're doing multi-million-dollar businesses a year or whatever, you name it, but you have no money on a bank account. Guys, it's absolutely normal. You have to learn the rules in a business, and you need to understand that you don't need to stress out. You just need to get to the guys who already have done these things, and they will explain you. Some things you have to be like, okay, there's certain of rules that you have to follow to make sure your business is sustainable. We're not gonna touch them right now because it will take longer conversation. But one of them is you have to understand the bigger business become, you have to calculate your ROIs, margins very, very carefully, Otherwise, you will be out of stock, and don't be surprised, like that, because you out of stock. It's out of stock. It's a normal thing too. You just need to understand how to get back in the algorithms and sales. So anyway, after 6 months of selling, Apple sent me like this scary letter saying that I'm selling fake cables. I didn't know back in the days that I have to have this MFI license. It's like a special license to for the chip. I already spoke with the Chinese guys, and they told me about pricing and the quantities. I was kind of okay, but margins would be like so thin.
I decided to move for like, I think it's $3 to use the MFI certified lightning chip.
It used to be about 5, or something. Maybe lower. Depends on the quantity. So anyway, there was no way to make money. There was a ways, but the way how my system was working, it was not working for me. So I decided to move to the different products. I took like a month off or 2 months off, decided to find new products. And we decided to go to the supplement business with all these mixes. I start to buy everything on Amazon. And because my wife, she don't like to try new things, I start to taste everything. In like 2 days, I maybe throw up 3 times because everything that contains spirulina is like crazy. I'm telling you, it was difficult to consume. And like after this 2 days of torture, I would say, I come to my wife and like saying like, listen, we have to find something simple. I cannot take this stuff anymore. No, I have an idea. Let's sell a green tea. Let's sell something that everybody would understand what we're selling. And if I say someone green tea, not like some power mix super formula, that can stay 75. We decided to go with the green tea, and we decided to go with matcha. So it actually was cool because there was no competition on matcha market. There was only 3 guys selling matcha back in the days, and it was like market was like widely open and people talking about matcha. And I remember, I will tell this later on. I remember Dr. Oz say something on a TV about matcha, and our sales like just skyrocket, So anyway, we made our product matcha. And at the beginning it was tough because I was buying this at $9.75 at a local supplier, and it was difficult because I was selling this for $25, and I didn't have enough money to come in. The margins was not that great, and there was always having delays with the production, and I was struggling. I was even trying to get some partners, sell part of my company to someone who will secure my inventory. But then I decided, okay, let me do something crazy. I found a guy who was my biggest competitor on the market. I call him and I tell him like, hey man, I'm your competition, and you see I'm selling well. Beside of us just fighting on the market, let me just buy from you the inventory. You secure my inventory because you're already producing a lot. So other than just fight and lose part of the market, you can still make money with me. Give me a good deal. So he said like, what a good deal, what sounds for you? I say like, no, you just tell me the number and I will either accept it or decline it. And then we're gonna go like that. And he just calculating, saying like, okay, let me give you a price. And he gave me a price. He said me, I will give you a price $289, but this is negotiable because he gave me such a high price. And I said like, man, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make money with this number. Let's do $269, including delivery to United States. And say deal. And that's
meanwhile, you would have taken six. If you would have given your offer, it would have been like $6 or something, probably.
Minimum, I will ask him for like $5 or $6. Like this will be like, I'm telling you that like it was the biggest win in my, I think, negotiation process. And listen, I start to make like $80K a month, like easy, pure profit. Just money start to coming in. I think my biggest month was, I think in one day I sold one time 6,000 units of matcha, which was with the $25 and $289 purchase. It was like, I don't remember how much I made. Like it was a lot of money and all that coming in. So that was kind of beginning of my my time. And then I hired business coach because I thought like my understanding of how business works was not that great. Like I know how to make money, but don't know how to build a big business. And the business coach told me, hey, you have to find a partners, like a partners that will teach you, or not teach you, they will partner up with you, and you're gonna scale your knowledge through them. So, but he didn't tell me how to pick the partner. So I start to call to all of my friends and tell them, hey guys, would you like to become a partner? And because my friends didn't have a knowledge and money, they say, of course, Dima. They saw my lifestyle. Like I didn't do anything, like I just hang out on the beach, like I have fun, I'm making a ton of money, so, and everybody decided to go to the partnership. So, and I think I made five partners. And it took me almost 2 years, like it was the biggest mistake ever I made in my life. Never, like there's few rules. First, never make partnerships with your friends. That's the rule number one, The rule number two, make sure you understand what each partner is responsible for and stick to it, Never try to cross your responsibilities, like make sure who gonna contribute what, And majority of the people, they go into the partnership because they think this way they're gonna minimize their risks, which is completely not true. They actually increasing their risk because now they rely on each other, and nobody will work. Like so that was one of my. So then I went to this Tony Robbins Business Mastery event. It was actually a great event. I learned a lot there. And when I came back, no, I think it was from the Leadership Academy by Tony Robbins. When I came back from Leadership Academy, I said to myself, I have to stop these partnerships. Like they just suck in my energy, because I start to diversify my focus, and my main business start to generate me maybe like I start to losing my business, because my product matcha was picked by some Russian community as an example of how you have to build a business. And everybody start to launch matcha. Everybody. The market, I think there was more offers on the market than real customers, So it was crazy. It was a wild west. So yeah, anyway, I schedule a call with all my friends one by one, and I sit with them and I say, hey guys, no matter how, we have to end up these partnerships, because I'm losing my energy, I'm losing my focus. So, and none of them was actually successful, and everybody say, okay, Dima, you can buy out all companies and we're good. So I buy out all the companies, I pay them all the money and everything, all multiples, and my wife tell me, like, you are the stupid guy, because like how come, like you made everything in 2 years and then everybody just took this kind of advantage. It's not advantage, but like I'm very very ethical person, and in that terms, like I say, like, okay, if it's my friends, but now none of them my friends anymore for some reason. I know, even I paid the money. So yeah.
So dude, that's insane, because I started Amazon much later. So hearing these kind of war stories from the early days and kind of how it kind of transpired, I think it's super interesting. And I would also say kudos to you in the sense that a lot of the early era Amazon sellers kind of realized that initial kind of swell of success, either sold out or just kind of went into something else, or didn't have the skills to kind of transition into this new era of Amazon, where it's not just about throwing up a product and kind of finding success. It's a lot more in depth. So can you maybe talk through the era that you're in now? Because you've also found success in today's Amazon with launching products. What's different? Like, what do you think are the formulas or the elements of success for sellers now moving forward? So if you're just starting an Amazon business, or you've been at it maybe for the last couple of years, what do you think are the strategies and approaches that have made you successful in the more recent era, as well as what advice you would have for people moving forward selling on Amazon?
Adam, what my personal belief, every year is getting even better and better and better. Like for few reasons, like no matter what people saying, like of course people who failed at some projects, they can tell that Amazon is tough. I mean, like, it was always tough. Believe me or not, like 7 years ago, I'm telling you, there was people who was telling me the Amazon is dead. And it was like, and that year was the perfect year, like you have unlimited reviews, you have so much services, that offer you like buyouts, like keyword ranking, like there was so many things, but still people was struggling with making business works. Nowadays, Amazon get better because look, nowadays they protect sellers more. Before there was no brand registry, anything. I know sometimes there's still some problems people can face, and they're like some people can say, hey, I cannot overcome this. Like there's always every coin has a two sides, yeah.
Sure.
So, but nowadays it's so awesome because now you can be more strategic. You have so much data to proceed. You know, like imagine back in the days there was no tools. There was no like, okay, here's my idea. Here's my thing. How like we made a project. It's called SELLERISE. How the idea even been created. We used to have like 300 SKUs, and every day there was Amazon was changing images, just automatic. There's no competition, nobody, just Amazon changing your images, you know, like, and or title suppressed or whatever, you know, like some mistakes that Amazon create. You cannot just. I used to have like 15 people who consistently check in my listings. They consistently check in every day, 3 times, 4 times per day to make sure we're not losing revenue. And that's how we made, like, there was no monitoring system. So we find one company in Russia that was monitoring websites, and we asked them to help us to create custom solution for us, just like a side project. And they refuse it. And we're like, hey, let's create our own monitor to make sure our listings and our accounts always monitored. And that's how we made a Sellerise monitor. It used to be just a Sellerise monitor. And we decided, hey, after that we say, okay, if it helps us, it may help other people. And we start create more and more and more unique solutions. Sometimes people come to me and say, hey, Dima, you know what? I know like some other tool has a PPC detailed analytics. And I say like, such a great news, you know, like, so then go and sign up, you know, like, because we're creating tools that not exist on the market, or we're creating them a way that they're going to be improved and they're gonna fit, because there's sometimes there's a tools they name themselves like I know, like all-in-one tools, but it just the check marks. Majority of the tools not working, or they not performing at the level that you actually need, you know, like as a seller, to make sure you sleep well. So that's why when we was building the Sellerise, we build like, if we have a tool, we try to make this as professional as possible to make sure it fits our needs and other sellers as well.
So help me understand, and we'll get into the whole software thing, because obviously that's how we intertwine together and kind of got more aligned in our kind of professional lives. But like something I've noticed through your story, right, which is like you heard about opportunities in the US, you found a way to make it happen, even though it wasn't easy. You came to the US and you didn't even speak English, and a couple months later you were the best salesperson at a mall kiosk. You went to Florida, came off in like pedi-cab, people making about 100 to 150 bucks a day, and you're making 700 a day. You get into kind of eBay, you kind of find a way, like you find a way to be successful at whatever you do. And I kind of love that. I've like, not to be a braggart or anything, but I feel similar in my life to things like when I'm focused on stuff, whether it's athletics or kind of business or whatever it is, like you just find a way to be successful, right? And it just happens. Although there's a lot that occurs behind the scene to make that happen. But like software is the next one. Like you're just like, hey, I've got a problem in my own business. I have 300 SKUs. Like starting up a software business is not easy, and it's not a straight line. There's no playbook. There's no YouTube videos on how to start an Amazon software business. What do you think it is in your brain or in how you operate that goes from you see something and you figure it out and you build towards that outcome? How does that happen? And maybe use Sellerise as an example for like how you go from an idea to actually implementing a pretty sophisticated and really kind of interesting software tool.
You know, like let's talk not about just about software. Let's talk about the general idea, how people come up with ideas. So I think like I can give like couple examples, but the best one would be it's when you really like focusing on something, you start to notice imperfections on different angles, or opportunities that other people's missing. So I will give a good example. Like I used to sell LED bulbs on Amazon like many years ago. And one day I just walking inside the Home Depot store, and I see Philips has an amazing promotion. They were selling like 2-pack of LED bulbs for I think $5 something. I don't remember. Like just let's not don't stick too much to the numbers. And they were selling for $5. So I go to the store manager and saying, hey, can you give me discount if I will buy out entire store, like so of LED bulbs? He said, like, yeah, we have 30% discount, something like this. So he was selling me these bulbs for I think $2.7, and I knew because I was buying LED bulbs in China for higher price, and I start to buy like pallets and pallets and pallets, and I was bringing them to my house, and my mom was repacking them 2 packs into 3 packs, which is like becomes 6 bulbs, because people need a lot of bulbs in your house. In a house, nobody replaces only one bulb. It's usually a few bulbs at least. So, and in the first I think 45 days we made about 90 or $100,000 pure profit from just buying these bulbs and just repacking them and sending them. Like, it was such a quick money. So if someone will ask you like how you come up with this idea, like, oh, how lucky you are, you're just lucky. You're not lucky. You just work so hard, and then you see these opportunities. Like I gave example with this software. Let's say we was sending inventory to Amazon, and then Amazon was splitting our inventory to different locations. It was such a pain in the neck. Neck. It was such a pain in the neck because if you send in container from China to here, you cannot split container. It's not a piece of bread. You just cut it. It's a metal container full of stuff. So if you're gonna try to split this container, it will cost you a fortune to send to different locations. And that's why we start to dig and we find a way that's called right now Shipment Optimizer and Sellerize. When you ship an inventory to Amazon, it allows you to pick the warehouse and ship everything to the one warehouse. It's not always work because it's still a gray area, but it still help you to save a lot of money. I saved thousands and thousands of dollars for myself, and I think like a year ago on April we released all these features to the public so people can use these features and save the money or make more money or save their time when they use Sellerize. Let's say when we have this smart alerts that help you to notify about any changes, and it comes right on your Apple Watch, which is amazing. So same we did for the Android. So all these ideas, I think they comes with the, I don't know, like for example, Seller Central. I always dig into the Seller Central and I know every single pass in the Seller Central, every button they add, because and people like, oh, how you come up with this idea to make some like, I don't know, like percentage-wise coupon discounts or dollar-wise coupon discounts, because they works there, and you dig, and you find that. So I think it's about focus and enough time to work. So
I think what's interesting, and I think that something that I've seen with people that are successful, especially successful not just once but multiple times, which I would definitely put you in that category, Dima, is the time between idea and action is very short. So said another way, a lot of people have ideas. A lot of people have really, really good ideas that are better than your ideas or better than my ideas or whatever else, but the time from the idea to actually action and implementation is either it doesn't happen at all, so they have the idea and they just never do anything with it, or they take too long, they overthink things, and the space is too long. So a saying that I love that I've adopted into my own life, and it kind of sounds very true to how you operate, which is be impatient with action, but patient with results. So you can't expect your action to immediately produce success, but you should focus and prioritize the action and be really impatient with it, but realize that good things will happen on a long enough timeline. So I think that's one of the things that's most impressive about you. And I've learned this more kind of working with you on the Sellerize stuff, but it's just like, most people are like, I wish I could optimize my shipments, or I wish I could get smart alerts on my 300 SKUs. They would think about it, but they would just, the act of going through it is just too much. So they let it like slip. But you just kind of pounce on it and make it happen. And so I think go ahead.
Adam, I can tell you also another example for you. Like when I just started on Amazon or whatever e-commerce, I was very, very aggressive. Not aggressive in a good way. I mean, like I was like action taker, like crazy action taker all day long. And it's not like, sometimes people think like being like action taker, you have to work for like 17 hours per day. No, I'm not always work like long hours. Sometimes I work like 4, 5, 6 hours per day, but they very focused. But sometimes I can take longer. Sometimes I just get tired and I just take time and reading books or articles. So what I was trying to say with this, where I'm trying to go. Anyway, I got lost a bit.
Yeah, no problem. No, man, I totally agree. So I guess a couple things before we wrap up. I mean, let's talk about the story of Sellerize and how we met, because it's so. I'll maybe give my perspective and then you give your perspective, because it's. I think it's probably different, or at least interesting. So I just became. I think it was actually Jamie Davidson where I learned about your software, and it was the automated review requester. So that was back in, shoot, I think it was like November, or like whatever, 18 months ago. I think it was when the review requester came out. And at first it was a Chrome extension, because it used to be you have to go in manually on each order page, which if you sell a lot is a lot of pages every day. And you'd have to like either train somebody to do it or go do it yourself. And then you came up with this Chrome extension that would batch everything on the page. And I thought, man, this is amazing. And then you came up with the desktop software, which let you automate reviews. So that was my exposure to Sellerize. And I was just like, this thing's badass, right? And then it seemed like, every week at least, or maybe it was even shorter span. And then I'd go in and I'd see like a new feature on the left-hand side. I'd check it out. And I'm like, okay, this profit dashboard's awesome. Okay. Smart Alerts is awesome. So I was legitimately just a fanboy of the software, right? I wasn't involved at all. And then I think you had maybe learned of me being a fan of the software because I'd been talking about it or whatever, and you reached out. So maybe talk from your perspective about how we got connected, and maybe what's next for Sellerize and what's next for you.
Look, the reason why I absolutely love people who passionate about something, and it's very difficult to find people who are proactive, and majority of the people, they just like they know something, but they never share with the world, they just utilizing something and they kind of quiet, they're not trying to help. And I saw every time someone comment in some group, and I see your comment as well, because you helping person, not because of the Sellerize, of course it was kind of cool that you commented with the help of Sellerize software, and I feel like, hey, this guy is really helping others, not because my software, don't take me wrong, I didn't connect with you because I just, hey, Adam have to be a partner with the Sellerize and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like that. At the beginning, I saw you helping and you utilizing our features, which was cool. So I realized, okay, if this guy just doing this without paying anything, without any commissions, he didn't even ask me for the affiliate program, which we have. And that's cool. Let's see who is this personality. How's his personality? Then I check your YouTube channel. Wow, this guy doing great. Beautiful information, awesomely structured. I want smart people like that be part of our project. And then we start to connect and communicate, and I see things flow right direction. And then I ask you, I think on a second or third call, I say, hey Adam, would you become a partner in the company? And you're like, hey, let's discuss. And that's how everything started to roll in.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
my perspective.
No, man, I think it's cool. And I think I'm at the point in my life and career, and I think a lot of people I'm aligned with are this way too, which is, money is an outcome that will happen. I just kind of believe that that will take care of itself. But for me, it's about working on things and initiatives and projects that I find fulfilling, number one. Number two, working on projects, initiatives, businesses, etc., with people that I like. You know what I mean? And then working on them in a way that aligns with my value system. And I kind of feel like if you do those three things, that for me is contentment in life. And man, you're a shining example of that, living that in existence. I think you're just such an awesome human being and such a friendly guy. And whenever I come out of an interaction with you, I'm always happier. And I think, that's a pretty special quality in a person to bring and accelerate happiness on those amongst around them. So Dima, dude, it was so awesome to hear your story in a little bit more depth. I learned some things, although I feel like you probably have hundreds of crazy ass stories, given just your life is so interesting.
That's true. I love to tell stories.
But I guess to wrap up, man, I guess maybe just a couple things. First, I would just say, what are some words of advice that you would give to other Amazon sellers right now in the space? And then maybe just wrap up about what's next for you and what you kind of see moving forward.
Yeah, for everybody who's starting or trying to grow their business, I would say, guys, to just continue focusing on the growth. Try to be effective, don't try to be just busy. There's million of things that you can do, but there's a small amount of small list of things that will make you effective. There's a cool book that called Execution. And the guy purely saying majority of the business owners, they don't know what exactly bring them profits. Sometimes they're just so busy, they optimizing desktop and trying to build so many things at once But in Amazon, you know, like optimizing your PPC, ranking keywords, optimizing your conversion, that's the thing that you need to focus, you know, like all day long. And forget about everything else and launch new products. The more
Yep.
products you launch, the more chances of home run you will have, and there will be home run.
Yep.
Even with our perfect system, we still have products that fail. I would say about 20-30% of the products still failing, and it's okay. You know, we don't count them. You know, like we just keep continue. Anyway, you understand what I mean.
Yep.
And for me personally, I just like to expand. Maybe I will try to sell some of my projects, but I don't really like to sell projects. I just like to continue build them up. But some projects, they just have a cycle of life. And
Yep.
some projects I lost during the all these years because I was thinking they will grow, but some never grow and they even died. Like LED bulbs business for me died, you know, back in the days. And it's absolutely fine, you know, like I probably would not sell it anyway. So nowadays I'm focused on expanding. Now we go getting into the physical store business. I just signed up a new contract and we bought 6 stores. So we're going into like a new era for us. We're investing in real estate right now as well. We're really like looking forward for cryptocurrency.
Nice.
We're building Sellerise and Amazon businesses. We have amazing 3PL service for Amazon sellers. It's called ASAP Warehouse, where we can help you to optimize your logistics, storage, relabeling, bundling, wherever will help you guys to make more money. We can help you with that. So and also Sellerise, it has a very big potential to grow for everybody. We keep continue optimizing, adding new features all the time. And we guys will love to hear your feedback because only with you we can grow together. Because I build the Sellerise the way I see it, but when you give a feedback, it helps us to optimize and make it even better solution for the public use.
Totally, man. Well, dude, that was awesome. And where can people find you if they want to reach out and say hey or kind of follow your story moving forward?
Facebook, you can always go to Sellerise and contact and say, hey, could you ask Dima to help me?
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'll also drop your Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff in links below. But again, I think you're a totally a rare human being, Dima, and I think that your personality, your experience as an entrepreneur, your ability to really make amazing things happen, not only once but consistently in life, are features and attributes of people that I highly respect, and I look to you as somebody I can learn a lot from and respect what you've done. And I consider it an honor to call you a friend, to call you a business partner in terms of Sellerise, and I'm excited to see where we all take it moving forward. But this is what life's all about, man. Doing what you love with people that you love and respect, and good things tend to happen afterwards. So thanks for coming on Seller Stories, man. I'm sure the community will love it as well. And until next time, dude, thanks again.
Thank you, Adam. See you. Have a good day, everybody.